Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will give you the basic introduction about trigonometry. Trigonometry is basically a branch of mathematics, a branch of mathematics which deals with the relationship between relationship between the angles and sides of a triangle. It means trigonometry is a branch of mathematics which deals with the relationship between the angles and sides of a triangle. A triangle can be of any type. If we have to study the relationship between the angles and the sides of a triangle, then we will use the branch of mathematics which is known as trigonometry. Basically, tri means three, and gon means angles. So basically it deals with three angles of a triangle, and the relationship between the sides and angles of a triangle. The triangle can be of any type. The triangle can be a right triangle, can be a right angle triangle, or it can be an oblique triangle. Oblique triangle means a triangle which is not a right triangle is known as oblique triangle. It can be equilateral triangle, it can be isosceles triangle, and it can be acute angle triangle, or it can be an obtuse angle triangle, but it cannot be a right angle triangle. Oblique triangle is not a right angle triangle, but it can be of any of these types. These all are known as oblique angle triangle. Now consider here the right angle triangle ABC, which has a right angle at vertex B. If we have to study the relation between the sides and angles, first we have to label the diagram. A vertex has the opposite side of vertex A is known as small a. Small a is basically the length of BC side. Since it is opposite to vertex A, so it is known as the small. We name it as small a, and similarly the side opposite to vertex B is named as small b, and the third one is small c. Here small c is the side which is perpendicular, and B is the hypotenuse, and A is the base. So a right triangle has three sides which have their specific name, and this is the base. BC is base here, AB is the perpendicular side, and AC is the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the side which is opposite to right angle, and which is the largest side in the triangle. AC has the length which is greater than both BC and AB. So consider here an angle theta. If we have to study the relation between this angle theta and any of these three sides, then we use trigonometric identities or trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios are basically as the name suggests, it is a ratio of any of the two sides. For example, if we use here sine theta, which is equal to perpendicular over hypotenuse, so it is the ratio of the two sides which is perpendicular and hypotenuse. If we take the ratio of perpendicular and hypotenuse, then it is equal to sine theta, and theta is this angle. So if we have any of these three values, any two of these three values, means if we have perpendicular and hypotenuse, then we can find theta here. If we have theta and perpendicular, we can find the hypotenuse, and so on. So we use this trigonometric ratio, and the second one trigonometric ratio is cos theta, which is equal to base over hypotenuse, and the third one is tan theta, which can relate the perpendicular and base. So here are three basic trigonometric ratios, and their reciprocals can also be used as trigonometric ratios. For example, sine theta, the reciprocal of sine theta is cosecant theta, which is equal to hypotenuse over perpendicular. The reciprocal of cos theta is secant theta, which is equal to hypotenuse over base. And the reciprocal of cot theta, tan theta is cot theta, which is equal to base over perpendicular. So here are six trigonometric ratios which can be used to find any of these angles or any of the sides of the right angle triangle. These trigonometric ratios are specified to this right angle triangle only. Another topic in trigonometry is the trigonometric identities. Trigonometric identities are the equations which involve the trigonometric ratio, any of the trigonometric ratio. As the name suggests, identity means any equation which is true for which is true for all values of variable. So here we discuss the trigonometric identities. Trigonometric identities are of three types. Number one is reciprocal identities, second one is quotient identities, and the third and the last one is Pythagorean identities. Reciprocal identity means, as the name suggests, it is the reciprocal of basic trigonometric identities. There are three reciprocal identities. Number one is cosecant theta, which is the reciprocal of sine theta. Number two is secant theta, which is a reciprocal of cos theta. And the third reciprocal identity is cot theta, which is the reciprocal of tan theta. Second one is quotient identities. As the name indicates, it will be a quotient of two trigonometric identities. For example, here is a quotient identity which is tan theta, which is the quotient of sine theta and cos theta. Second one is cot theta, which is equal to cos theta divided by sine theta. And the third one is Pythagorean identities. Here are three Pythagorean identities. Number one is sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Number two is 1 plus tan square theta is equal to secant square theta. And the third one is 1 plus cot square theta is equal to cosecant square theta. Now here are some applications of trigonometry. Before studying the applications of trigonometry, we have to study the basic types of angles. Here are two types of angles: angle of elevation and angle of depression. Angle of elevation is basically the upper side of the line of sight. This reference line from which we have to measure the angle. We can measure the angle is known as the line of sight, which is normally can be taken as x-axis. If the angle is above the line of sight, then it can be known as angle of elevation, and if it is below the line of sight, then this angle is known as angle of depression. So here are two basic angles, types of angles: angle of elevation and angle of depression. Now consider our daily life example. If a kite is flying here is kite is flying here at this point, and a person standing here can observe the kite at an angle of elevation of 30 degree. And since this angle is above the line of sight, so it is known as angle of elevation. And the distance of a kite from the floor is 20 meter, and we have to find the distance between the kite and the person. This distance, we have to find this distance. Name this distance as x. If we have to find the distance between the kite and the person P is standing here, and name the triangle as P, Q and R. Since we have seen that here is the right angle triangle and here is right angle. So for solving PQR, right angle triangle PQR, we have to use the basic trigonometric ratio. We can use here we have a perpendicular and we have to find the hypotenuse. It means we have to use the sine theta here. Sine theta is equal to perpendicular over hypotenuse. We have known theta is equal to 30 degree. So sine 30 degree is equal to perpendicular means 20 over hypotenuse x, and by simplification x can be shifted to this place. X is equal to 20 divided by sine theta can be shifted here. So sine 30 degree. So by solving we have x is equal to 40 meter. So that's how we can use the trigonometry in our daily life to find the solution of our problems, by using the trigonometric ratios and the angle of elevation or angle of depression. Here we have to end our lecture. In our next video we will solve exercise 6.5. Until then you have to take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye and take care.